Yo, you listening to the Oprah Rose Show with TT and Gigi, and yeah, get it poppin'.
Thoughts. Everything begins with thoughts.
She's a slut, she's a hoe, she's this, she's that.
We say to girls, you can have ambition, but not too much.
It's about people being uncomfortable with women owning their sexuality.
What is the truest, highest vision that you hold for yourself?
I'm a real ass bitch, and I'm gonna get everything that I'm gonna get on my own.
I know for sure. You don't get what you wish for. You get what you believe.
I was also delusional. We both were. We were completely delusional.
Like, I'm going and she's in the back seat. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you want me to do?
I think for me, it was just like, acknowledge what you're doing is stupid, and then we're good. And he was like, no, I don't think that she's going for this. I think she's really talking to her family.
Oh no, at first I did. I did.
So for me, I was like, just tell me that you know you're being stupid. And then she punched me in my face.
Right,
and then she punched me in your face, and here we are. But for me, it was like, if you acknowledge that you're being stupid, I will be less mad. But it didn't happen that way. And then the condom thing was more about, well, we're not using them. And
I forgot about that, actually. Thanks,
she's
T.
clearly...
I totally forgot that happened.
And she's stepping out. So if you want to keep not using condoms with me, you
yeah, but was she still seeing that other gentleman during this Atlanta trip?
Johnny Johnson.
Johnny Johnson.
Was seeing that brother.
Oh no, was she seeing him during the Atlanta trip?
Oh, was she?
We don't know if it was the same dude.
I don't. The truth is, I don't. The truth is, I'm trying to be fair.
Yeah.
I determined, back to the to an earlier question, I determined that, I think the question was about whether was I relieved to find out, were we relieved to find out the other person was cheating?
Yeah.
There was a point where I would have been. At the point when I found out, I had determined that, you're never gonna be honest. And I know it sounds funny because I'm talking about being an honest cheater, but the truth is, like,
there's a difference.
But
it is.
Person is gonna even own their bullshit. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And I had determined that, you're never gonna be honest with me. Your agenda is a self-preserving one. And I understand that as an idea, but you are not in your own life. You are sharing a life with yourself and 3 other humans. And so you don't get to, in the way that I model family, you don't get to put your needs first necessarily and primarily all the time. Put them before mine. I'm good with that. You can't put them before the family, and the family being the babies as the foundation of that, right? And so once I determined, and that was the thing, I could have gotten past many things that happened, including being cheated on. I could not reconcile. I don't know that I will ever be able to believe what you say anymore. And then, coming back from that.
Yeah.
And so when I found out she was cheating, was she seeing the guy? I don't know. I could, real rap, I can ask her that today and I'd be like this.
Yikes.
I wouldn't believe I wouldn't
believe
it. I don't know what I would believe, so I don't know. Probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was, like I said, it was so triggering for me. And not even as somebody that was cheated on. That was the gag. Just like all the other flip sides of stories and just like the complexities of kids in a relationship. And I would literally be sitting here some days like, oh my God, Lord have mercy. But it also like how you guys said that your story is commonplace and there's so many other people that can identify with and are going through it. So I would be like, okay, well, it ain't really that. So maybe it ain't that bad. But like it showed me all of like the layers of a relationship. And I think the other thing, and I think you just touched on it, Andrea, that you said that I think you guys had also, it was very grown that y'all had spoken to, your partner's like partner, or, y'all sat down and like, I mean, you wore your like finest cloths as you should have, to
tell her she can't leave her shoes at the man's house.
Right.
Yeah, to say, I was like,
hair salon,
the glam father was on deck. But I was even like, oh, that's still super mature of y'all. Like now that I haven't really heard of, like people saying like, hey, you are the person in my partner's life and we have children together. Like, and we all got to still at least try to live harmoniously together. Like, let's have this conversation. I was shocked because I was like, oh, I've never heard of that. Like,
yeah, because Jason even said that, I think it was like episode 2, where when Andrea's ex-husband found out about it, Jason was like, I'll meet with him. Like, I'll talk to the guy. Like, you know, I owe him that if he wanted some type of explanation. I was like, whoa, let me pause. Because you want to talk to him if he actually wants to talk to you. Like, that was just so mature and you know, owning exactly like what was happening, where I was like, y'all two were supposed to be together and do this podcast because you're both honest people, and that it was no hiding. It was like, you found out, so let's talk about it, and you can meet the guy and y'all can talk if you want to do that. I don't think people normally hear that part and that honesty of like actually wanting to talk to the person's partner at that time.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk to him.
I was saying,
yeah.
If he wanted to talk,
but to your point is like there's a code, there's an etiquette to it, you know, and you know, as men, it you know, there's a code to it, and so I wasn't going to.
And I think it's as humans, really.
Yeah.
I think if I paid for the shit, I bought the shit. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I laid down with someone else's husband. If she wants to talk to me, I've got to talk. And this particular woman that I had to talk to, it was like, this is not even about you. It's not about him. This is about my kid. And so I can't trust him to convey my thoughts about what could affect my child, because clearly, had you thought about that, we wouldn't have to have this conversation. Mm-hmm. So I need to tell you. And it was someone that I had, you know, I had known through time, you know, or like she wasn't a friend or anything, but I knew her. So I was like, we're going to have this conversation, because to me, you need to look in my face and hear me. If some shit affects my kid, I like to fight. So I'm going to need you to, I'm trying to be mature so we don't get to an edge snatching situation here. So, because that is the only thing at my age that I will fight about is my child. And so let's have this conversation so that we don't have any misunderstandings, and I'm not going to trust him to be able to convey the depth of my feelings around, she's not ready to meet anybody, so we're not doing this.
Right. And I think all in furtherance of that thing, like it's all in furtherance of, so for Andrea and I's perspective, we knew that we were going to be together, so we're going to have continuing relationships with these people. You know what I mean? So that, you know, that idea is like, listen.
Well, that chick is gone, but yes, with people.
No, but from your ex and your to my ex, you to my ex, it's like, yo, brother, I don't plan on going anywhere. So, you know, I would, you know, out of respect.
We have to have this conversation. Weirdest thing ever
bro,
is to see them talking.
No, he's
like off to the side.
Yo, me
just
and bro,
gonna ask y'all, what does your new blended family looks like? How is that?
Right.
Cool. Like we are good.
So we don't spend, like, we're not Bruce and Demi. We're not going on vacation together.
Okay.
We're not doing that.
Who else does that?
I don't know. We know other people.
No,
that do that.
It was on Black Love.
It was on Black Love. They were talking about it.
No, dude, you know who I'm talking about.
We'll
Swiss and Alicia be taking
Michael Beach's ex lives with them. I didn't even understand this. Yeah.
What?
Could not understand it.
No.
Cordial is enough. You ain't living up in my house.
So Diddy said it. He asked about the blended families, and I think the scariest prospect was what our kids were going to be like, meeting each other's kids and then having the kids meet each other. And it actually has been really good. The kids, they are sisters. My daughter also now has two sisters from my ex. And so I wanted her not to be an only child, and now she's not. Voila.
That's good.
Not for me, but she is. She gets
even better.
Yeah, even better. She gets along really well with Jason. I love his daughters. They are hysterical. They are my kids. Like, you know, and one thing I hope that both of our exes know is that the other person is good to them. And then my daughter's stepmother, they have a good relationship, and that's literally, for me, all I require. And his daughter's stepfather, I think I'm maybe racing down.
Yeah.
His
step boyfriend.
His ex is in a serious relationship.
Yeah.
And they love him, and it's fantastic.
And it's
I love that I don't
good.
have to beef with nobody. I
All
love
good.
that I don't have to be like, why are you talking to my daughter? Like
It's ideal.
it's
Yeah,
literally
it's
ideal. And the way our arrangements are is that we get time, they get time. We go on family trips, they go on family trips. Our kids are making out like bandits. They get so much Christmas, so much vacation.
They get mad shit.
They
for
get
Christmas.
mad shit.
I bet.
All those parties. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, and it wasn't like
It was guilt for me.
It was guilt for a bit.
I was compensating in the beginning.
And I will say that it was hard when he first moved out and I would be here and his ex would come over. It was hard. Like it felt weird. Like she's coming in. Do I say, hey girl, hey? Or do I stay my ass in the room? But I have feelings around not greeting this woman. So I'm gonna at least come out and say hi and then go back to where I need to be. I'm not a parent to your children in that way. So y'all have conversations. I don't need to put my mouth on that. I got my own things to do. So figuring that stuff out and boundaries, especially with little Black girls, like boundaries around doing hair, boundaries around that kind of, like, just that stuff. We have definitely hit some minefields, but come out on the other side. But it's been fairly good.
It's been organic though. It's been natural.
Yeah.
I made sure of certain things, or at least I tried to. It's like, this is not, new mommy, none of that stuff. That's your mother. Your mother.
And I'm Andrea.
This is Andrea.
Yeah.
My partner.
Right.
She is to be respected as an adult and as my partner, but she's not your mom. And it's not something I said, but that's how we create, that's how we cultivate the environment. And the way I try to be with Andrea's daughter is the same way. Is like, yo, I'm Jason. And we've found that common space and it's natural. And it's cool.
And some things there's things that are hard. There are things like, if we're going away and his kids are like, I miss mommy. Okay, you gotta call her. Like it's things that you figure out as you go along. Like this shouldn't hurt.
I ain't calling her, but you could go.
You could go, like you gotta call her.
You got a phone? Call her.
Listen, you got a cell phone.
Yeah, they got cell phones. Call her.
Got a FaceTime.
Yeah, and then there's petty shit like
just petty
there's
shit.
mad petty shit like and my daughter hates this, but when we like, you going to the A house because we the B house because they got lots of money over there. Like what y'all doing? Like
oh my god,
she hates it. But she's almost 17. She hates it, but it is also working on your
that's hilarious.
Own shit. Like, I have the ability to do these things for you? Like, are you having more fun there? Are you okay there? So there's lots of
Am I self-conscious about this? Am I insecure about this?
Yeah.
Am I laying something on my kids that's my own shit that I need to address?
Yeah.
Am I projecting the way I feel about their mother right now?
Yeah.
In a way that's unfair either to them or their mother, because at this point, the only thing that, my ex and I need to ever talk about are the girls. And so, if there's a disagreement about, co-parenting, then that's a conversation we should have every day. Other than that, there's nothing to talk about. And it's that kind of it serves as a check and balance, at least for me. Like I can, the kids are a clear like demarcation. They're a bright line of what side I need to be on from a communication standpoint and from a relationship standpoint.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier
there was nothing to talk about till we did this podcast and we had to tell them.
Yeah.
Y'all did that though. Like, so they obviously now, because I think at the end they had not heard it. Like, have they heard it now? And just what was that feedback like?
I don't know that he's listened, but he definitely knows I've done it. And I had a conversation. Like I said, I did the Coward's Way Out and I had it a week before it was coming out.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
By the way, smart way.
Yeah, by the way,
already recorded. It's in the can. Like I'm gonna tell you, but this is what. And his point. He was like, for real, like all of it, and I was like all of it. And so he was like, "You all right?" I was like, "Bro, you all right with that?" Because like you're in a whole situation now, and I don't know what you said to her. And he seemed okay with that. And then our question, of course, was our daughter. And I was like, I've already talked to her. So she already knows this thing is happening. And I was very honest with her about how we came together. Because she's at an age, and I know my kid. If I had a different kid, we might not have had that conversation. I'm like, I'm going to be posting about it, and I'm not going to lie to you about it. So if she was younger, I probably just would not have had the conversation and talk to her later about it.
And we're not ashamed.
Yeah,
of
it's
it.
10 years ago at this
we
point.
Stand
and
by
we own
it. You know, we stand by the mistakes. You know,
Yeah.
and all of that. For me, I know through people that we still have in common that she was aware of it, but I don't know for fact that she's listened to it because we've never had that conversation. But I do know as a petty person that I would listen to it if I was her, you know.
Same,
so
I would have.
I would listen to all of it, you know, twice.
Every last one.
You know, it's
every.
And you know, the truth is, I know that everything we can disagree on many things in the podcast, she and I, but we can't disagree on the facts. And I know that if there was anything that was said, every single word that I said that y'all heard was as I saw it as truth.
Yes.
No bullshit.
No script,
I did not embellish.
Nope.
So if she heard and she had an issue with anything from a factual standpoint, I imagine, knowing who the person that she is, that she would have brought it to me. So I believe she probably heard it, and I'm sure she didn't love some of it. But she can never say you bullshitted or you lied. Nope.
No. And he would have absolutely brought it to me if there was something in it that he thought was absolutely bullshit. For sure. He would have completely called me that day. But I think, and we also revealed things they didn't know that we were doing.
Oh, that was
Well, so
but the other thing was that we were still taking care of them, because when it's a different point. But I told her in the beginning, I said, listen, I don't know. I know you were dude. He may not know all of this stuff. So you might want to get out in front of this. If, you know, I don't know. In my head, I'm thinking, I know you lie a lot. So if you lied to him about this, you might want to, like, you know, because this is
clean up your lies now, girl.
I'm trying to look out at this point. Years later, I'm trying to hold you down.
And the woman that my ex's wife, there was no overlap. So this is private. So I was like, for me, it was just like, I don't know what you told her. Right? But it's not like it has anything to do with she and I. So if this is a problem she's gonna have with you. Because there's no overlap, so there's nothing affecting her and your relationship or anything like that. So I mean, we found out, so I'm assuming that if he heard he good.
We good. We good. I mean, is there anything that you guys would have done differently? You know, hindsight is obviously always 20/20, especially as you guys can rehash it over 10 episodes.
Yeah. Shit, I'd have stayed off of Facebook. Once we met, we'd have just started talking via something else, because that.
I will say I was dying when everybody was like marking their territory, when you was just like saying like small things,
just updating your status,
or no, under his post, and she was like, "Yes, well, the wife's whatever," and I was like, "Ooh, my type of petty." I love it.
You know what happens years and years later? All of those memories pop up.
Your memories on his day.
So I'm
right.
Yeah.
This stuff still comes up, and I'm like, oh shit!
Wow.
I'll tell you something.
Oh, we were wilding.
Posted this thing about my furnace in my old house not working, and I said,
tell that story?
I'm gonna tell a story because it's embarrassing. It's all good. So I said, I need something. I need to find a furnace that puts out, because apparently this furnace doesn't put out, or saving it for marriage. My ex wrote on that post, maybe the furnace is married, referring to our lack of what was, and I was like, oh shit, he really wrote that petty shit on my phone, and we were still married.
Yikes!
Oh my god!
And I look at his level of petty in his posts, I be wanting to call him like, Negro, you know you was mad petty, and I could.
That's actually mad funny.
I could call. The funny thing is, I could send him that post now and be like, you know, you was mad petty. He'd have been like, yeah, I was being mad petty.
That's just funny.
Wow. But it was like
hilarious.
That stuff comes up, and it's like it is.
Because even back then, but like, you know, Facebook at that time, even Twitter was like the Wild Wild West. You could say whatever. Like, it wasn't as curated as it is now when like, you know, it was a different time and a different place where you could literally just say any and everything. Like even now we even talk about like Andrea status is about like music, and like that was a way that I connected to because of, you know, soundtracks and things like that. But like today that it wouldn't happen that way.
No, people are savvy now. No one was savvy. No one was. We were just migrated from MySpace over to Facebook. And
poor MySpace, they didn't do anything wrong.
They really didn't. They
just
new shit.
Just new shit.
Like, it was just 80s rap until, you know, and
until
then
90s
rap started making.
It's always gonna be
80s rap.
It was like it was Facebook was puffy, and before that was just MySpace, and so we just weren't savvy enough to realize we could be seen easily. Like it was so easy to see what we were doing,
hiding in plain sight.
It was so new though. Like now, and I mean, Jason and I went through this. Now, if I see, you know, and we're not. The funny thing is, we're not jealous people with each other, but as we were going through this.
I was in the beginning.
The PTSD of our past relationships and the work and healing we've had to do. Don't let some woman from Hampton post on hit that he ain't spoken about before. Like, hold on, you talking about so, and she was your friend. Who's this broad?
Oh, you mean HU? You talking about HU?
Whatever. And then I done went and stalked her.
I'm like, not the real HU.
Not the
real one.
Say that for like 15 minutes.
And I'm
like, not the real one.
We were touching on the inauguration, and I was like, I sat in my pearls with my pinky up for the whole thing. The entire thing. I was like,
yes.
But wait, I was gonna also ask that. How do you guys, you know, a lot of time, you know, they like what older people say, like how you get them is how you lose them. Like, how do you guys maintain that trust within your relationship to be able to trust one another?
I do believe how you get him is how you lose him. And so if you get him, I do, but not in the way that people think.
Right.
When you get someone not being your authentic self, not being clear, not being honest, you will absolutely lose him that same way. Has nothing to do with cheating. I didn't lose my ex-husband because he cheated and I cheated. I lost him before we cheated. He cheated because of the symptoms of the reason that led us to cheat. And we were that way when we got together because he was with a young woman who was going to Stony Brook and I was getting out of a relationship. We did the same exact thing, but it has nothing to do with the actual act of cheating. It is absolutely, I am not in the same relationship with Jason that I was in with him. I'm not even in the same relationship with Jason that I was with Jason in the beginning of this, that we were 4 years ago. We have been through 7 different iterations of our relationship because of this willingness to be like, okay, this part is toxic, this part is PTSD, this part is good. Let's keep the good, let's figure the rest of this shit out. And we've had to kind of find that on the way. We're not even the same people.
No, and I look at I think cheating, like the connotation of it is like it is the lone unilateral destructive force, like it's the tidal wave, and it's usually a symptom of your infrastructure. And you have failed oftentimes, in my experience, way before you get to the cheating part. So like cheating is, I'm not a clown in the sense that I don't believe that Andrea can cheat on me. That's possible entirely. That's life. Cheat on each other. But that is one thing. There are many, many, many ways that Andrea can fail on me and I can fail on her. I know this thing that my ex and I met on a blind date. Okay. I was with her exclusively for the first 7 years we were together until Andrea and I got together. So, and we failed, not because of cheating. We failed because we failed for all the other reasons that we outlined in the podcast. And so, do I worry about Andrea cheating on me? I don't worry about it any more than I worry about Andrea stealing money out of my account or Andrea, knocking one of the girls upside the head. I don't worry about any of those things because I know who Andrea is, and
we work on not failing.
And I trust who we are to each other. So again, it's not that it can't happen. Anything can happen, but the fact that we met this way doesn't mean that I don't still believe in who we are today. It doesn't even, it doesn't even factor for me.
Funny thing is, my ex-husband said to me, "I knew you were going to cheat."
Really?
Wow.
And that really just occurred to me in the same conversation, that same after he turned the computer around. He said it. He said, I knew you weren't happy. And so that speaks to Jason's point that we had already failed, and bless you, and we had already failed, and we did not know how to recover from that.
Mm-hmm.
And because we weren't modeled how to really get through, and we went to marriage counseling, you sat up in the counselor's office and lied, you know what I mean? Like, we're still not showing our true selves to each other, and we don't want to offend each other, and worrying about offending the other person is the road to failure. Because you are not going to say the things you need to say that are hard and difficult. And that doesn't mean you need to be a heinous bitch about how you say it, but if you are not satisfied with yourself or some part of your marriage, and you can't say it for fear of hurting the other person's feelings, that's a wrap. That's an absolute wrap. And so we went to marriage counseling, and the shit didn't work. And because we were not, I imagine he wasn't being honest. I know I wasn't being honest because I was still in the mode of protecting him versus protecting us. And so I definitely believe how you get him is how you lose him, because usually how you get him was faulty in the first fucking place. So that's how you lose him.
I love that. Such a good answer.
Too. Yeah, I was about to get my notebook and be like, let me get this down real quick. Because again, that's I've never thought about it from that perspective.
Yeah.
I think we took it more literal than
which is how everyone takes it.
Yeah, but it literally goes back to when we first started, and we were talking about like marrying, and like it doesn't really have to do with the age, but if you don't, like you said, know yourself and like know what it is what your relationship looks like. Cause like I have to constantly have that conversation that whatever you did with anybody else, like I'm me, like I am Tierra Jasmine H. So like you and I are two different people. Like don't ever compare or whatever it is, or base anything that you've done. Like that's just not, I mean, when I say fair, ain't shit fair, but like it's not fair to me. Right. Like I'm completely different. And I think I just got to that point at the end of 2020. Like I was not saying that in 2019. So, and that's what I think I love about, like, every time I would listen to an episode or even just what you said in this hour, like, I'm like, oh shit. Okay. I really was about to take notes. Like, and I'm like, okay, I gotta remember, I'm gonna say this soon as this is over. Like I got to get this out. So I appreciate the transparency and the fact that y'all know each other. I think you can hear that in the podcast very easily. I think you can see things or know things. You gotta obviously be in tune with yourself, but I can see things very quickly, and I'm like, they don't even, that's cat. Like they don't even know what they're talking about. Like, how I'm gonna listen to you? No, because you don't even know your damn self.
And you don't. And the funny thing is, as I'm getting to know myself, Jason holding space for that is what works. Because that
Jason holding space for that. Oh, I love it.
Because the reality is, I am not even the woman I'm about to be. And he's not the man he's about to be. And as we are changing, like, I mean, I have friends who were in these situations, married, in these heterosexual relationships, that discovered or always knew they were queer, and then decided to, and like, have stayed with spouses or have left spouses, because some spouses can hold that space, some can't. And it is so like, everyone, as we shed societal crap and shed Black stuff, and all the ways in which we judge ourselves and judge each other and all that stuff, you become this other person. And the thing that Jason always does is like, go, like, I'm just happy I'm here to watch. And it's the same with him. Like the person I speak to today and the person that I met, still at the core this good, great guy, but I'm like, man, I don't even like, wow. And
different dude.
It's a different, and I don't want to hold you back from that because of my shit. But so if you need to go do your things.
But what we also know, I think, is with each other is that we know that I know that there's a space for me. There's a place for me. Wherever Andrea is going, I know that
when you don't have to worry about somebody going.
So I don't worry about what it looks like.
Yeah.
I don't worry about I don't worry about whether it's uncomfortable or not. I don't worry about whether I don't understand it.
It doesn't have to be
because I believe in this us.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and that's the thing, the versioning of ourselves that if you are working on yourself the way I think we should as people, if you're trying to improve every day, you should be different. Like you should be different tomorrow. You should be different in 10 weeks. You should be different in 10 years. Andrea should expect me to be a different version of myself, but not a different person, just a different version of this
evolution.
Right. And and if Andrea believes that we are the people for each other, then she will know that no matter what iteration, iPhone 55, then there's
after that. But seriously, it's like when you met me, I was just praying. Now I'm praying and casting spells. I hope you good.
It's an adjustment. It's an adjustment.
Jason be walking in like, what are you doing?
You flipping the mattress now? Like, okay, all right.
Tarot card. What is happening?
I'm like,
today?
son, it's 5:45 a.m.
Why are you up with this?
What are we doing?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. My crystals was gone from the windowsill one day. And I was like, well, wait now. I was like, this ain't no devil worship, but I'm cleaning my crystals in the moon.
Yeah, in the moon. The whole podcast, every episode, we came in, we poured wine. I sage sprayed because I couldn't light it. I sprayed sage spray. I put out my crystals. We said
there's spray, sage spray. I mean, I can't even get it out.
Yes, there's all sorts of. Amazon has. I hate doing, but it has sage, Palo Santo, like all this stuff in it. And literally, that's how we started every podcast.
Oh, love.
Then our prayer, we poured our wine. I saged the room.
That down too.
My crystals, and we had this conversation. And it's, I thank you for adjusting with me because I know it's a lot.
His face.
I love that. Yes, hold it. No, I was really writing notes. I was like, I am going to write these. Look, I done wrote down sage spray even. Like, I told you, just learned so much.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So we ask each of our guests the same questions to end the show. And so we'll just ask you one of each because there's two different questions. So I guess, Jason, what would you tell your younger self?
It can be any age.
A couple things. I would tell that young man to trust what your gut is telling you. Because I think I spent a lot of time overthinking and thinking myself out of what I felt in my gut to be true because of other standards of what's supposed to be that I subscribe to that weren't my own. And I would tell myself to be patient. And because I rushed, like I made a lot of things in the context of this, I made my marriage and my relationship something that it wasn't. I had this idea. And this, again, talk about whole other podcast. There's a whole other episode about trying to be what you think people want you to be, and so that is a problem that I had. And my marriage was a factor of that. I was thinking that I was creating this life and this I wouldn't say image because I'm not an image person, but you
had duties and obligations. And
it was what I thought I was supposed to be doing, and I just put to the side so many more important things for the sake of that, and I was wrong.
Okay.
And Andrea, what do you know for sure?
What do I know for sure? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. What do I know for sure?
Oprah. Yeah,
Like,
but that ain't us.
Take credit.
Oh, I was Amber Rose. That was Amber Rose.
No, both of them were Oprah.
I'm good with that. Though.
This was not an Amber. Well, it was given a little Amber Rose spice, but
right. We've gotten a bunch of different responses, so it could be whatever. It's whatever you make it.
What do I know for sure? I know for sure that love is real. I know for sure that I was born with everything I needed, and I somehow lost that on the way. And so I know for sure that I want to make sure our kids know that, like, I'm just guiding you, like, you have it, like everything you need is inside. I know for sure that everything you walk through is meant, and it's meant to enhance your gifts, and it's meant to, often it is meant to share with other people so that people know they're not alone in something. I know for sure that, God, this is so hard to say. I know for sure that little Andrea, if she was allowed to be her, would have still done the exact same thing and been in this place. Wow. Because I needed to understand, I needed, for who I am and for what I need to share with the world, I needed to go through some things to be able to speak from a place of understanding and a place of empathy and not judgment. And so I know for sure that one of the reasons that Jason and I met and went through this thing is because this conversation needs to be had, and we wouldn't have been able to have it any other way. And so for all of the dragging and all that stuff that we have gotten and will get, I'm just really happy and know for sure that as much as we revealed, we did the right thing, because this shit is hard, and people need to be able to talk about it in a safe way and feel like they're not doing it. This is not just them. Like, Black people especially, we spend so much time thinking that this shit is just us. And I know for sure it's not. And so, man, sharing our stories, like any kind of Black stories and all kinds of Black stories, because Black people are a million different things, I know for sure that's right.
I love
so
it.
Good.
So good. So good.
Where can people find you guys?
So, the Cheat Code Pod on Instagram.
Yeah, at the Cheat Code Pod.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a Facebook page. There's a YouTube channel.
Same handle.
Same handle. All the Cheat Code Pod.
And Jason.Vivas, on Instagram. Like, I've taken. So it's interesting that we are moving, as we move into the next phase of the Cheat Code. Like, we really only have like this salacious story. You know what I mean? Like. We're gonna move on, we love the art. Podcasting is brilliant. What y'all do, what we do, y'all, this is dope. Like, this is for real sharing Black stories. Like, this is and controlling that narrative. Like, I love that. And so as we move on,
we gotta figure out.
Yeah, I don't know if we cheat code. Are we still cheat code?
Sort of.
Okay, look, and I said, now I got one more question. So what is next? Is there like a part 2? Like, what's next for the cheat code?
Season, but it will not look exactly like the season before it, because there was that story arc, and then obviously we have lots of things we can tell and share, but it's not going to be like this linear story, like, just because
more like
we do have episodes. We have some cheat code episodes,
and then we got some Jason and Andrea shit.
Right. And then I think, as you said, we would love to and are hoping to bring the cheat code to a different medium. On
the screen,
but it would definitely not be the exact story, because we gotta not get sued.
Yeah, right.
And then Jason has an individual project he's working on, and I have an individual project I'm working on that I can't really name just yet, but we are working on individual projects because we just like talking and shit. We're not experts in it, but we like it. We like to say shit.
Well, listen, what you selling, I'm picking up and buying. So
I like stat. So
yeah, y'all, like,
thank you for reaching out. Like this was great, and
I feel like
so comfortable, and like it's so easy to talk to y'all. Like y'all have such a great balance and chemistry. Like this was real cool. I didn't know what to expect.
Thank you.
We listened to y'all and everything, and I was like,
hold
okay.
on, y'all episode with Diamond, that episode 165. I cannot. I have so much.
It was a mess.
So much. I had secondhand embarrassment. I was like, yes. I had all sorts of things that were happening. I was like,
we were like going back and forth about having your real teeth, like.
Oh yeah, and she went and got
her teeth done.
I
today. No.
I just started researching all of that shit too. Like, damn.
I was like, yes, because you have to ask people this. And then when she said she thought Didi was a heavyset black, and I was like, I'm out right now. I'm falling out.
Oh my God, I forgot all about that episode.
Yeah.
And that's what they are. They're like markers of time.
The howling ejaculation that happened in the car when I listened to that episode. I was like,
oh my God.
How did I know about her? I need to find her today. It was
please every day is
she's insane. Oh yeah, girl F you is insane. Yeah.
Like the podcast is called Girl Fuck You, and I need to no, this is the episode you need to listen to because you will fall.
It is. It's a mess. So no, I have learned so much. So that's why G said whatever you putting down, I'm picking up. Like I literally, I really have notes. So it was.
Andrew's the witch leading this tavern.
I told you I love black witches. This is why this works.
Sign us up.
You are just the eye candy. That's all that is.
I love it. So and we end each show with a quote, and it's super simple today, and it's just prioritize your peace. So whatever that looks like for you specifically, I feel like in these crazy ass times now, however that looks like it looks different for each person, but you have to control that and prioritize your peace and put it above all else. So.
Yes. Love it. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you guys so much
for having us. Really, thank y'all for giving us this time. Really, it's a blessing. Thank y'all.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you guys.